Through Christ, there is the gathering together of all things. In him, the fracture is healed and peace is restored. God has done this, having made peace, Paul's words, having made peace through the blood of his cross. The words, the blood of his cross, are given to mean the blood that he shed on the cross. We talked about that last week. When you think of the blood, you think of death. The life is in the blood. He shed his blood. Christ died. The blood of his cross means his death. Okay, just think of it that way and you'll get it. The blood and the instrument, meaning the cross, which caused it to be shed, are almost tied together as one in Paul's mind. God chose the cross to be the means by which Christ's blood would be shed. Thus, the cross stands as the symbol of what occurred. When we look to the cross, we look to the symbol of our faith, which represents the blood that was shed. Okay, a lot of people will email me and they say, is it okay if I have a cross in my house? Paul would say, absolutely, 100%, yes. He says that I boast in nothing but the cross of Jesus Christ, by whom I am reconciled to God, and God is whatever. I don't have it memorized, I'm sorry, but it's Galatians 6:16 or something like that. Anyway, and Burke, if he's watching this right now, is going crazy because he can quote those things off the top of his head. I get thinking of other things and I can't stop and pull a verse out, even though I know what it says. Okay, so if you have a cross, that is there to remind you of Jesus. Okay, here's one thing that people do all the time, and I get people emailing it, and there are people that attend the church that have said this to me. And I never argue with them, but I will say it, and they can be angry at me, or they can say, oh, I never thought of that. People will get so down on the crucifix. I've heard this 8,000 times in my life. Jesus came down from that cross. We should not have a cross with Jesus on it. Okay? What is the empty cross? It's a moment in history. What is Christ on a cross? It's a moment in history. We have a picture right over there. What is that picture of? Actually, it's two, but it's one. It's a picture of Jesus as the shepherd, but the other aspect of him is Jesus with a crown of thorns on his head. That was a moment in history. Christ doesn't have that crown of thorns on his head. People have no problem with Jesus' depictions with a crown of thorn on his head. But all of a sudden, because Catholics have a crucifix, you can't have any crucifixes in your house. And I've heard that 8 million times, and I disagree with it. I don't argue with people over it, but I disagree with the premise. It is a moment in history that we are remembering. Christ died on that cross. He shed his blood on that cross. And Paul is making a mental image of Christ dying on that cross right here. If somebody has a crucifix in their house, I have zero problem with it. Zero. If they have a picture of Jesus with the thorns on their head, but they won't allow a crucifix, the problem is in their head. Okay? We are thinking of moments. Here's another one. When we are celebrating on Palm Sunday, what do we think of when we think of Palm Sunday and Jesus?
On the donkey.
On the donkey. And we have pictures of Jesus on a donkey. Right? Okay? Palm trees, okay, but I'm talking Jesus, not the other things. Jesus, we have a picture of Jesus on a donkey. That was a moment in history. Is Jesus still on a donkey? No, and we don't have any problem with that. I have zero problem with people having a crucifix in their house. Christ died on that cross, and I want to remember that for the rest of my life. I never want to forget that, and if I see a cross that's empty, I say, hallelujah, he's not up there anymore. But if I see him on the cross, I say, my God, he did that for me. I have the same thought in my heart, one way or another. Okay?
And the one